to be a playoff team and win the Grey Cup on a yearly basis. That's what our goal is. But more to that, right? That this is just an exciting brand of football, and if you are not down at the stadium, if you're not watching on television, right, that's your own fault.
I know when you got hired or when you came back here, you talked about building a culture not only on the field but away from the field. And you see what Chad does away from the field with visits to Launchpad, case in point what we have going on here today. How important was that to you, and just what does Chad mean to the community, and how much does that bode well for the Toronto Argonauts moving forward as well, having him here at the helm?
Well, being the starting quarterback of a professional football team, you don't want to put any additional pressure on a player. However, that the community work, the reaching out, is just a part of who he is. He embodies, he thrives off of it, and so to kind of be in a position where your star quarterback is also a guy who really embraces community, enjoys community, is I hate to say the bonus in this situation because there are so many bonuses. There are so many other things that he's been able to do for us. But there's a tremendous energy that is apparent in our locker room, outside of our locker room, and in our league because Chad Kelly is there.
Mike, when you took over, obviously there's two missions here. One, to win games, but the other is to try to build up the stature and prominence of this franchise in the market. How does signing Chad for not just another year, but 3 more help this organization do that?
Well, you're establishing the foundation, right? And so any great organization is based on its foundation. And so we're continuing to build on that foundation. It started with our head coach, Ryan Didwitty, and then the quality of person he is dictated the quality of guys he had around him. Our coaching, our entire coaching staff are guys that you not only could learn a lot from, but you want to hang out with. And so he built that base, and now as we look at it, right, our star quarterback is the same kind of guy. And so it is our hope that, not only is he going to be here, but he's also going to attract those same kinds of people to come here and to play with our team. And so we could not be more excited for our Argonaut fan base, both present and to be. And we also are just I think overwhelmed here with where we are and what has been able to transpire in such a short time. It could take, it generally takes a little bit longer than this for this thing to come together. And so as our head coach says, 2% every day, day by day, we have to be careful here now that we don't get outside of ourselves and think that this signing means that everybody's going to bow down to us. It is not the case. It's now going to make every game a little bit more difficult.
How does it feel knowing that obviously all the Toronto sports teams have a player that they kind of identify with? Now that the Argo fans have a player that they can truly identify with, that is here long-term, players that a player that fans can look up to for at least the next 3 years.
Wow, when you say that, we always talk about that as a key, right? Is having people who represent your community and having consistency when you're struggling. It's also difficult to continue to bring the same people back, right? And so part of this is not only are we having success, right, but now we're able to bring those people back so that they are recognizable to our fan base as well, and there's no greater representation than Chad in that.
And how important is it now too? Obviously Chad's locked up, but also to that Coach Dinwiddie's locked up long term as well.
Yeah, the having the two pillars of our organization, right, locked up and moving forward is paramount to our long-term success. And as we keep moving forward, there'll be some other work that we certainly have to do as a part of that foundation. 2 guys don't make a foundation, but they're a heck of a start.
Every deal has 2 sides. Obviously, you guys wanted Chad because of what he can do on the football field and in the community. How did you sell him on making the long-term commitment to the Argonauts? What was the sales pitch from MLSE and the Argos to Chad?
it was, again, a situation where we didn't have to work as hard as one might think. He has really assimilated so well. You see him out being in the community, and of course, right, this is something that we organized specifically for today. But the reality is he marched himself down the launch pad last season during the season multiple times, and he's also been back this year as well. And he wanted to be here. He showed that by his actions, not just words. His actions showed and illustrated time and time again that he was not just a football player, but he's part of this community, and he enjoys it. He loves it, and really, the whole idea was just coming to an agreement that everybody could, get along with, because he made it clear that this community is where he wanted to be.
Michael, what have you seen from Chad since you had your first conversation when he joined the organization to now? What's kind of been the big change you've seen from him?
Well, when you're as the starting quarterback, it's just a different posture, if you will. As the starting quarterback now here, he is the voice not only of the offense, but he is the voice of our team, right? That doesn't happen for every quarterback, right? And you don't want to put every quarterback in that position. It used to be kind of thought, oh, he's always the leader, but that's not the case, right? We've seen many situations where great defensive players like Mike O'Shea have been the leader, the voice of a locker room, and been able to carry that. But he is that guy who not only is the face of the team, right? But he actually puts more work in outside of the regular hours, not just going to community, but dedicating it to getting better. He does it in a very unique way as well, right? I made the comparison. Doug Flutie, when Doug Flutie's on your team, right? That guy, he watches so much film, right? And he just tells you what to do. Yeah, you go over here, right? And Chad does it a different way, right? He has guys, more than we've ever had, guys that are staying in after the allotted time, and that are coming in early or staying late or both, right? And studying together, watching film together, and he's exceeded every expectation.
Final for me, you've worked with many different quarterbacks, whether you've played with them, coached them, or even as a general manager. Where does Chad kind of line himself of the guys you worked with in the past?
He's in the line. and when you see him come off the bench and do what he did, scored the 10 points in the fourth quarter, and I told him, listen, no pressure. That's all we want from you is 10 points a quarter. But the reality is Chad is going to speak for himself. Right. This is still the first half season that he's played as a starting quarterback, and so we won't write that script. Right. We'll leave that up to him, but I'm sure that we'll at some level we won't have to say anything, because if he continues to move in this direction, we'll be speechless.
Eloquently said.
Well, first and foremost, congratulations. Just in your mind, why was it important to get this done now, and what does this contract mean to you, and the vote of confidence that the Argonauts have given you to be the next starting quarterback for the next 3 years?
Yeah, I mean, it means the world to me. First of all, I want to thank, my family, the good Lord, my teammates. My job is so easy with having, the team around me, my coaches, the support staff. I mean, there's so many people to thank day in and day out that make everything possible. I wanted to do this because I want everybody to know that I'm committed to making this team better, to producing for Toronto. I love it here. I want to spend the next 50 years here, and this is my home now, and I look forward to a lot of great memories to come, and I just want to show that I'm committed to being here.
I know Pinball was talking about, the sense of community and just how much that you were involved with going to Launchpad or doing events like this. What does the community of Toronto mean to you, and why is it so important in your mind to get back and be a public face as well?
Yeah, it's huge. I remember when I was a kid, being able to just be around or see a professional athlete was an eye-opener, and honestly, it was a dream come true. You wish and you work as hard as you can to one day be like them, right? And now this is my time to be able to give back to the city, the community, the Toronto Argonauts fans, to the city of Toronto and Ontario, and being able to grow up, not too far away in Buffalo, is honestly a dream come true to be here and be in this situation, and now have the ability to give back for years to come.
Does this close the door on the NFL for you?
I'm committed to being here right now, right? And my focus is being here. Do I want to stay in Toronto? Yes, I do. And, my focus is this year, and whatever happens beyond is out of my control, but I'm committed to being a Toronto Argonaut.
How seamless has the transition been for you as a starter this year? I mean, you've got a team that's 8-1. You've got a team that's doing very, very well.
Yeah.
It looks like it's going to be another successful year. How seamless is that transition?
Yeah, it's been great, man. I got to give thanks to a lot of people around me throughout this off season. My agent Chris did a fantastic job of making sure everybody knew we wanted to be here. I got to thank my girlfriend Yana for keeping me focused and dedicated to the sport. Obviously going through so much last year and being able to go through a lot of things this off season, not knowing what's going to happen, and Coach at the end of the day made sure that everything was going to go the way I wanted to, and it just shows his commitment to me throughout this off season. And that was one thing what you just reiterated, was saying that seamless transition. He was just like, thank you for making it really easy on me in this transition. So like I said, I'm super thankful. I'm thankful for MLSE, the guys in the front office, for being honest and committed, and just thankful for them wanting me to be here.
Chad, along with the success you've had this year, you look like you're having a lot of fun. Just tell us what it's like for you to be the starting quarterback of the Toronto Argonauts this season.
The fun, I haven't had this much fun, honestly, since I was playing Grand Island Junior Vikings over in Grand Island. Really, honestly, like being able to wake up and I weigh myself before games to make sure, I'm right at the weight I want to be at. And it's just, it's about dedication, really. Like when you're fully dedicated to what you love, everything makes it so much easier, and you're so much more thankful for everything you've been through. And like I said, it has been easy, an easy transition, because, when you're fully committed to your job and putting countless hours in, and all the stuff that you did, the past 10 years, it has paid off, but there's so much more work to be done. And, I look forward to being able to capitalize on the opportunity I have.
Yeah, and the Argonauts in this market are looking to establish their prominence to more what it once was. To do that, they need a star quarterback who's going to be here for a few seasons. How do you feel about that role, about not only trying to win games on the field, but kind of to further to establish and promote this team in this market?
Yeah, I think obviously there's some pressure now, right? Even coming out on the football field, I was like, man, it feels a little weird because my teammates are looking at me a little different, right, than they used to. And I'm still the same guy, and I obviously am just trying to prove my worth and prove what I can do on the football field every day. Didn't matter what happened off the field, but every day I want to prove that I belong. And as long as everybody is on the same page as I am of wanting to get better each and every day on and off the field, I mean, sky's the limit for not only myself but our team and our franchise.
One last question, if I may, about Labor Day. I mean, you're going in as the starter this year, going into Hamilton. Your thoughts about a Labor Day game against the Tigers?
Yeah, it's going to be packed. It's going to be loud. Those guys are going to be aggressive, as we know. They have a great team, and we know that. We see it on film. They had a fantastic game last week. We know they're going to change up some looks from last time and from the first time that we played, use some things. So we just got to be ready for whatever they throw at us. We know it's going to be loud, and everybody's going to make sure we're all on the same page.
Do you think you have a bit more of a because we're doing this?
According to some of my players, they say yes. So, but no, we're just trying to keep it moving and keep on producing.
Chad, since you've arrived in the CFL, what's something you've learned about yourself through this journey?
I would say being dedicated, and what I mean by being dedicated is like all in, right? Like you hear about people saying all in, right? What does that actually mean? What does that mean, right? Can you withstand, the outside things that are trying to, throw you off, right? Can you be dedicated to what you're paid to do, your profession, right? And, those people that, reach high level in their occupancy are dedicated to trying to be the best that they can be, right? And I forced myself this off season mentally to really do some things I'm uncomfortable doing, right? And I think it's just all that put together to this moment, obviously shown that, hey, if I keep doing what I was doing the past year, it's really hard to stop, someone from achieving success. So I just look forward to being able to keep on, working through some things and being mentally strong, but also physically strong each and every day.
How about knowing you're here for the next few years? You got some younger quarterbacks in the room with you. What's kind of, you could kind of see your role in helping these guys achieve maybe what you've achieved as well?
Yeah, I think those two guys are really good players. They have live arms. They have quick feet. They understand the game. Obviously, they're still learning the nuances of it. But, I think my role as being the older guy is to kind of give them little keys that I see, right? I just think of different guys lining up in different positions. You see a guy over a little bit farther than he normally is, or a little deeper than he normally is. What are you, expecting to see? And what we always talk about is having accelerated vision. So the more you play, the more you watch film, you'll have better accelerated vision.
How does it feel knowing, Toronto has a lot of athletes that people look up to? How does it feel knowing that you're one of those people that Argonaut fans and people that want to become Argonauts fans can look up to going forward?
Yeah, it's a blessing. I'm super thankful, and my parents have been dedicated to trying to make me the best athlete I can be, and now kind of I can repay them a little bit, and just try to be the biggest role model I can be, learn from my mistakes. But one thing I never did was give up, and I think that's what makes it a very unique situation and story, is that I kept fighting no matter what. And even talking to Murph, he was like, man, pat yourself on the back, because you came a long way, right? So I think that's just one thing that I can help share with other people around the city, man. If you get knocked down, you can always get back up, and still set your goals high, right? And if you don't set them high enough, then they're not high enough, right? You want to just try to succeed each and every day, man, on and off the field, whatever you can do, and just be an inspiration for others.
Thanks, Chad.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Congratulations once again. Congrats.